Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Well. What do we have here? The Mississippi Department of Marine Resources said it mistakenly released records tied to Nolan Wells' death investigation. And now prosecutors are telling them, don't do it again. Don't you do that again. That's it, y'all. No arrest, no investigation, just don't do it again. Yeah. In a letter responding to a TMZ public records request, the MDMR acknowledged it had inadvertently released records related to Nolan's case. The agency did not identify which records were disclosed or to whom they were released. Here's the record in question. State of Mississippi, Tate Reeves, Governor, Mississippi Department of Marine Resources, Joe Spraggins, Executive Director, request for disclosure of public records to the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources. Nolan Wells. You see the case number, then you see Nolan Wells. I am in receipt of your payment in the amount of $50 for the processing of the records request that you submitted on or about July 10, 2026. Please be advised that I will be returning your check to you to the above address. Previously, the MDMR inadvertently released records in relation to this matter. Subsequent to this inadvertent disclosure of records, MDMR was notified by the Jackson County District Attorney that there is an ongoing death investigation of Nolan Wells, which will be presented to a Jackson County grand jury, and therefore, the records in the possession of the MDMR relating to this matter are exempt from public disclosure. See July 20, 2026, correspondent from District Attorney Angel Myers McElrath to MDMR Executive Director General Spraggins attached here too. Therefore, based on the assertion of privilege by and the instructions of District Attorney McElrath, the MDMR is withholding production of the requested records at this time. If anything further is needed, please feel free to contact me. Thank you for your cooperation in this matter. Really? That's it? Ain't nobody going to jail? So they got an international murder case allegedly being investigated. And they don't know that they're not supposed to release private records. They don't know that they're not supposed to release those records that otherwise would be public. But since there's an active murder investigation going on, they don't know that they should not be releasing those records. Incompetence. Can you say incompetence, boys and girls? This happens all over the country, really. Like when you look at, even if you look at, I don't know, the current president's administration, so many people are unqualified in positions that they're unqualified for. You know what America's used to doing? They used to having unqualified people run the show, but people who are qualified actually do the work. That's whenever the work is actually being done. It's usually by somebody that's qualified. The people who don't do the work get all the credit, right or wrong. Some of y'all have to go in and you're doing work every day, and somebody else is taking the credit. And then some of y'all are that somebody else who's taking the credit. Yeah, some of y'all out there, y'all some supervisors and managers taking all the credit, bosses taking all the credit. Yeah, but anyway, I guess that's why you get paid the big bucks, right? But anyway, fam, this is the type of thing that you can get used to in law enforcement all around the country. You would think that, you know, somebody's in law enforcement and they got the agency, you know, they backed by the U.S. government. You know, you would think that they got the best of the best working there, right? You would think that the best of the best are at work. You would think that somebody who works for the MDMR, you would think that they are experiencing something like this, because this ain't the first time somebody drowned, and it won't be the last. This ain't the first time somebody drowned in Mississippi, and it won't be the last. It's not the first time somebody drowned on Horn Island, and it won't be the last. And I'm not going to even put that out there. I don't think Nolan drowned on Horn Island. I think Nolan was murdered at that pool party, and they transported his body to Horn Island and dumped it. That's what I think happened. I think he was murdered at that pool party, and I think the mystery to his death lies within the people. The answers lies within the people who were inside of that pool, at least some of them. And at least one of them killed Nolan, and at least two of them covered it up. At least two of them covered it up. In fact, I would say at least four of them covered it up. That's my thoughts, fam. I don't believe that Nolan Wells drowned any more than I believe that a fish drowned. You dig what I'm saying, fam? I don't believe it. I absolutely don't believe it. Look at that. So in the back of his head, they said that there was an injury to the back of his head. This is the autopsy rendering. There's an injury to the back of his head. We already knew that. We already know that his body had been beaten and battered and even burned based on what the person who received his body during transportation from Mississippi to Washington, D.C. said. So we knew that even before they said it. We already knew, because we know that he was murdered. We already know that. And then the independent medical investigator, examiner, he received the body with no throat, no lungs. Now, why would they do that? Why would the coroner in Mississippi send that body to be examined without all of his parts, all of the parts, especially the critical parts, the throat and the lungs, that they know that the coroner can't really do his job without a complete examination of? Come on, fam. Come on, y'all. This is all to trip up the investigators, to trip up the coroner, to muddy the water, create a bunch of doubt, have this person say this thing, this person say that, this person say this person say that, this person say this, just all kinds of stuff going out there, all kinds of theories, and all different types of stories. And then that way, people don't know what the hell to think or what to believe, because they don't have access to the evidence like the police got. They don't have access to interview those boys like the police do. So we can only go by what we know and our lived experiences, right? We can put it together, use our common sense. Common sense to tell you from the first time that we heard the story. As soon as we heard the story, we already know what happened. Case solved. They did it. We know that his friends did it. We just got to figure out which ones exactly did it. We just need to know the details. That's it. But we know they had something to do with it. We know that for a fact. That's common sense. But what say you, fam? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And I'm going to tell you this. This entire case is tainted. Before those boys got a chance to law you up, the law should have been on their head. They should have been interviewed immediately. I wouldn't be surprised if law enforcement encouraged them to law you up. What say you? Drop a comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. No more talk.